Hello guys, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing okay. It's me, Success again. Sorry for being away. I've been having a lot of challenges with my connections and moved or located from where I was staying to a place different. So it's been difficult trying to set up the internet connections. But by the way, let's quickly discuss what the topic is for today. So I definitely had my internet set up earlier. So everything so far seems working okay. So we just have to see how that goes. So regarding the XAUUSD, which is the gold, after definitely marking the high end of the week, I can see that eventually price has eventually been trading on a sell from this level. If you can see my chart very well, this definitely has been my trade recap on gold eventually on this particular day. As you can clearly see from my 4 hour time frame, I was selling. And what happened? Why the trade eventually took me out on SL, I definitely also went in for a buy trade on gold, and what happened again? I got hit out on SL. So at the end of the day, my original sell bias definitely got validated because it took some time, but eventually the market eventually sold up to this level. So for me, from this level being the 4 hour, definitely here is a new low that have been formed. So from this level, a new low from this level, as you can clearly see, has been formed. So this was definitely the recent low by price. This was definitely the recent low by price if you look left or if you are looking left. So if you're looking left, you can clearly see that this is definitely the recent price that price eventually tested or got to before creating this new low here. And what did we see? So as you can clearly see from my 4 hour time frame, we saw a new low being formed here, which you can clearly see. And what is happening now? We're seeing definitely price also retesting this same low that price eventually broke out from. So we're seeing price eventually retested of this level. And upon this level, we have the psychological level here, definitely acting as resistance because it's definitely going, I'm definitely seeing a downtrend. So we have the psychological level here, acting as resistance. And what do you see also? We saw the high of the week. We saw the high of the week around this level also. And what did you also see? We see that price eventually have created an MO pattern. So price has eventually created an MO pattern on this level. And when this happens, this definitely gives us three over four confluences of how we trade because we do look out for four confluences as well. So from this level, we can clearly see that we do have the psychological level that's definitely going to be acting as resistance. And then we do have the high of the week, which is also acting as a resistance to drive the market to the downside. And then we saw the MO pattern that happened and occur on this level. So if I'm to definitely go in, or if I'm to take or trade on this opportunity, I have to then fall down to my 1 hour time frame, being my intermediate time frame, to see if price is eventually correlating with what the 4 hour is doing. So as you can see from this level, if I'm to execute on this trade from the 1 hour time frame, that if you definitely use the 1 hour time frame, for me I do use my 15-minute time frame. So if you definitely do use 1 hour time frame, so definitely we should be seeing a sell when price eventually triggered this level. When price eventually, I'm going to mark it clearly. So once we saw price eventually triggered this level, you can probably use this as your first entry position. You can use this as your first entry position. Let me delete this one. So if I'm to trade on 1 hour, here is definitely going to be my first entry position. Here is going to be my first entry position. Then when I saw price again retest of this level, here is going to be my second entry position. So this is definitely going to be my second entry position to going for a sell, to going for the sell, and definitely that was the confirmation of the MO pattern. We saw the psychological level acting as resistance. We saw the high of the week acting as resistance, and then we saw the MO pattern as a confirmation. That's the price action as a confirmation that we're definitely going to be having more of the sales. We're definitely going to be having sales. But at the end of the day, as much as we've seen this confirmation as well, price tends to do what it wants to do. As much as we have this confirmation, we have found this edge. price is definitely not going to do what we want it to do. So all we need to do, or how we're going to trade, is by trading based on edge, by trading based on confirmations and confluences on how we trade. So if I'm definitely going to fall down to my 15 minutes on how I'm going to execute the time frame or how I'm going to execute the trade, as you can clearly see, this was the first entry position here, and then you can clearly say this was definitely the second entry position. So if I'm to clearly label that out, I'm going to say here, I'm going to put first entry position here. I'm going to put the first entry position, first entry, which is also fine. Then, okay, let me position this here. So this is definitely going to be the first entry. And then, like I stated, this is definitely going to be the second entry. This is definitely going to be the second entry. So if I'm to execute on this trade, it's going to be this first entry. That's my first entry for the day. And eventually, this is definitely going to be the second entry. So this is, let's say I do enter this trade from the second entry position. This is how it's definitely going to be like. This is how it's going to be like. This is, remember, the second entry position. So if I'm to trade this, my SL is definitely going to be above. Just hold on there. I do have my magnet on, so that's why it's definitely holding up tight. So if I'm to trade this opportunity, this is definitely going to be the entry position from this level. And then my SL is going to be definitely above this recent high looking left. So this is definitely the recent high looking level. So I think definitely I might go around 28 pip, 28.5 pip, which is also okay. So what am I going to be doing? I'm definitely going to be targeting a new low to be formed by price. So what am I going to be doing? I'm definitely going to be going in for around 140 pip movement, 140 peak movement. So eventually, this is definitely how I'm going to execute this trade. So to make this definitely more clean, so you don't get confused, let me definitely remove this level here that I drew here, so you can see clearly what I'm definitely talking about or what I'm doing. So from the 4 hour time frame, you can clearly see that if I'm to execute on this trade, I'm definitely going to use a little bit tighten stop loss, probably around 28.5. So we can also probably, let's say, 30 pip SL. We can use 31 pip SL, 31.09 SL, and we should target around 140 pip movement in take profit. So this is definitely how I'm going to be executing on this trade. From my 4 hour, you can clearly see why am I going to be selling. Is definitely I'm selling because I found three confluences out of four, and that's why I'm definitely going to be selling from that position if I was on time. So from the 4 hour, you can clearly see I saw the psychological level here acting as resistance, and then I saw the high of the week acting as resistance as well, and I saw an emo pattern on this level acting as a confirmation from price action to go in for a set trade. And then if I have to go down for my intermediate time frame being the 1 hour, you can clearly see that we're definitely going to be selling from this level and making this much on this. So that's literally how I'm going to be executing this trade. So I just wanted to take this time. It's been a while ever since I updated you guys. I just wanted to update you guys on what's happening and what my thought process is on gold. So if you do love how I analyze my pairs, how I do analyze my trade, how I trade, how I put together my confluences as well to get a perfect entry position, I want you to go hit the subscribe button, like for more.